राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। नित्य गौर हरि बोल। एवं विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद श्रीमंगेशी भक्त वेदांत संशोपाद की जाय। एवं विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद श्रीमंगेशी भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाय। आनंद कोटि वैष्णव मंद की जाय। नमाचार्य हरदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगमय यमुनमय की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Allorishvara Samulivadi Hare Krishna, Allorishvara Samulivadi Hare Krishna, Allorishvara Samulivadi Hare Krishna, Alloris, Shri Guru and Gauranga Shubhapad Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhanam Namaste Saraswate Gauravani Prajarna Vijaya Sunyavad Panchachade Stharani. Thank you for joining. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, verse number 16. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskutya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Apadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Om Tat Sat. So, chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, verse number 16. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayo api atra mohita tatte karma pravakshami yad gnatva mokshayase asubhat. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayo api atra mohita tatte karma pravakshami yad gnatva mokshayase asubhat. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayo api atra mohitaah tatte karma pravakshami yad gnatva mokshayase asubhat. Word to word. Kim, what is? Karma, action. Kim, what is? Akarma, inaction. Iti, thus. Kavaya, the intelligent. Api, also. Atra, in this matter. Mohita, are bewildered. Tat, that. Te, unto you. Karma, work. Pravakshami, I shall explain. Yat, which. Gnatva, knowing. Moksha, say, you will be liberated. Asubhat, from ill fortune. Translation by Dhruvanges A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Samshapopad ki jai. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. Please repeat. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, and knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. Verse number 17. Karmano hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmanah akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. Karmano hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmanah akarmanascha bodhavyam गहना कर्मणो गतिः कर्मणो हि अपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः कर्मणो हि अपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः word to word karmana of work he certainly api also bodhavyam should be understood cha also vikarmana of forbidden work akarmana of inaction cha also bodhavyam should be understood gahana very difficult karmana of work gati entrance translation the intricacies of action are very hard to understand therefore one should know properly what action is what inaction is what forbidden action is. Repeat. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Verse number 18. कर्मणि अकर्मय पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः सा बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्ता कृष्णकर्मकृत् कर्मणि अकर्मय स पश्येत् य पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्ता कृष्णकर्मकृत् कर्मणि अकर्मय पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्ता कृष्णकर्मकृत् कर्मणि अकर्मय पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्ता कृष्णकर्मकृत् word to word karmani in action akarma in action in one is in action akarma is in action yeah one who pasyet observes akarmani in inaction cha also karma fruitive action yeah one who sahi buddhiman is intelligent manusheshu in human society sahi yukta is in the transcendental position krishna karmakrit although engaged in all activities translation one who sees in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men. So one who sees in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men and he is in the transcendental position although engaged in all sorts of activities. Please repeat. One who sees in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men and he is in the transcendental position although engaged in all sorts of activities. Next verse, verse number 19. And that we'll try to understand. This is the last verse for today. Yes, yes, very important verse. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa vajjita ज्ञानाग्निदग्ध कर्माणं तम आहु पंडितं बुधाः यस्य सर्वे समारंभा काम संकल्प वर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्ध कर्माणं तम आहु पंडितं बुधाः यस्य सर्वे समारंभा काम संकल्प वर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्ध कर्माणं तम आहु पंडितं बुधाः word to word yasya one whose survey all sorts of samarambha attempts kama based on desire for sense gratification sankalpa determination vajjita are devoid of jnana perfect knowledge agni by the fire dagda burned karmanam whose work tam him ahuru declare panditam learned buddha those who know translation one who is understood to be in full knowledge whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by the sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. I repeat. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of sense gratification, devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by the sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. I'll try to understand these verses. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। What is this? Okay. So here today's section is in the third section of chapter 4, transcendental knowledge. First section is transcendental knowledge about Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, how knowledge should be received, when and about Lord Krishna's birth and his activities, when he appears, why he appears, and what happens, and knowing about his birth and activities. This is described in the first section, section 4.1 to 10. The second section we discussed is the 11 to 15, which is practical application or goal of all the paths and creation of Varnashrama system. This is the second section. Now we are just starting the third section in this chapter, which is the third section we are discussing is karma on the platform of jnana. Karma on the platform of jnana, or analyzing karma yoga. This is third section. Okay. Next section, this is from 16 to 24. So today we are discussing from 16 to 19. So the 19 to 24 is a subsection of this section within the third. Analyzing karma actually really starts from there, 19 to 24. Analyzing karma yoga begins from 19 to 24. So in the beginning, just defining the subject matter from 16 to 18 actually. So from 25 to 33 again goes back to knowledge on the base, the sacrifices on the platform of jnana. Then the 34 to 42 or so is the result of transcendental knowledge, or the qualifications required, the summary, the essence, the conclusion of transcendental knowledge. So this way this chapter is divided into 5 sections. Now last section, as after Krishna explaining that how to apply transcendental knowledge, to the degree we are surrendering, to the degree Krishna will reciprocate. Ye yatamam prapadyamste. Very important. Then we took an example of Govardhan Leela pastime, took an example of Poundraka, who acted as just like a Vasudeva. He created artificially 400 forms like Chaturbhuja, Sankachakra Gada Padma. He artificially created himself on his hands, and then wearing Vaijayanti Mala, Kaustava Jam. So artificially something looks like those he created. Like that, he proclaimed that I am the Lord Narayana, Lord Vasudeva. And he challenged Lord Krishna. He sent a message to Dwaraka also. And then Kasi Raj, who was a friend and who associated with this Poundraka also. So both have been killed by Lord Krishna in that. So how, depending on how, one who wants to be a thief, accordingly Lord reciprocate. One who wants to be a friend, Lord accordingly reciprocate. One who wants to be a in Sakyaras, then Santaras, neutrality, then again Vatsalaras, Madhuraras. According to the degree we are surrendering, to the degree, or Then Krishna is also explaining further. One who is desiring fruitive activity, one who wants quick results, is after worshipping demigods. Kangshanta karmanam siddhim. Yante iha devata. They worship demigods. And they get results, but they are temporary. They are not going to last long. So that Krishna is, because according to the degree that somebody is surrendering, then Krishna said, all right, I will reciprocate accordingly. Through them, I am the one who is giving. Later on chapters, we will see Krishna confirming that I am the one who is actually giving the boons, giving the assurance, or giving the power for demigods to give even grant. They don't have independence to give without the sanction of the Supreme Lord. Is there? Paramatma is there. Don't think the Paramatma is there only Jivas. Even demigods also have Paramatma. Super soul. Isvara sarvabhutanam hruddeshorjana tishtati brahmayad sarvabhutani yantra rudani maya. So just like this body is like a machine, because this is a place where we perform action. Soul is there, that's why this body is there. As soon as soul leaves this body, body is dead. Then again soul is entering another body. So that's why body is acting like a machine. If machine, our car spoils, our engine, stops working, then no use. Then you have to fix it. Obviously, this is mechanical engine, so it may be able to fix, but at some point it may not be able to even fix it. Then you have to get a new engine. Same way, this body is like that machine. So the soul is using this machine. So like that, super soul is also sitting in this. As long as soul is there, super soul also is there. That's why Isra Sarvabhutanam, not just Indians, not just Americans, but everyone, every living entity, not only animals, ants, everyone, every living entity has super soul within. Each and every living entity. Isra Sarvabhutanam. Sarvabhutanam means covers whole material Brahman, all the material universes, not just our universe, all universes. If they Sarjana test is sitting in the, because super soul and soul is there in the heart. Okay, Sakra Satabhaga Satada Kalpitasya. Soul is explained as 1/10,000 tip of the hair. So that is the soul size, and super soul size is also the same size. It can expand. When Parikshit Maharaj was Ashwadhama released Brahmastra to Uttara, carrying Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. So that time it was explained. Parikshit Maharaj was searching. The Lord expanded. He could see the Lord. He protected from Brahmastra 1 inch to 9 inches. He expanded. So 1/10,000. So the Lord can expand. But otherwise, only 1/10 of the tip of the hair is soul. Same size is super soul. We can't even use any machine to even see the soul. That much small, so small. Here it's the tip itself so small, and then you cut that into 1/10,000 part. How much small? It's so small. So that's why it's that super soul is there and guiding these demigods to grant these boons. At least they are coming. At least different levels are there. We're coming to that point. Then gradually Krishna explained, now everybody must follow. If somebody wants, now I gave you the knowledge, how knowledge should be received, and why I appear, when I will appear, and about my transcendental body and everything. Now for living entities, they must follow this Varnashrama system. Chaturvarnam maya system guna karma vibhaga guna kartaram api vidyamam avyayam. I am the creator, but at the same time I am the non-doer. I have created this 4 Varna and 4 system. But it is based on the qualities. We will go in detail in this section. It is detailed further on this aspect. So Krishna is defining, because practical application means how are you going to apply? Based on this Varna, based on the quality. If you go to the office, you are an IT engineer or any business, IT engineer, IT person, you will be looked at, you will be interviewed based on your quality experience. It is not based on which group you are coming from. Yes, they will look at your education, master's or bachelor, but that's not so much matters. They look at your experience, what experience you got for the job description you are going to fit or not. So that is required. So according the same way, it is based on the quality, the experience, the tendency. Accordingly, they will take. It's not by birth. So that's the same way this Varna and Ashrama system, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, these Varnas and Ashramas are Brahmacharya Ashram, Grihastha Ashram, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. 4 Varna, 4 Ashrama. All these 8 systems are created by Lord Krishna so that they work hand in hand. and it has a aim, ultimate aim of this four varna, four ashrama. It is like the head department is Brahmana. These hands are Kshatriya, and then legs are, and then belly is stomach, belly is Vaishyas, and then legs are Sudras. This is how. If head is not there, what will happen? So nothing will work. So head is required. Same with the intelligent class is head, Brahmana department. Then the hands are Kshatriya department, that is administrative class. Then you have business class, which is Vaishya. Then Sudra class is worker class. This way. So no, everywhere there is a class. There is no, it cannot be classless society. So that's why this is very important. But based on the quality, not by birth. But this has been many people are taking it as by birth. They think, oh, my father is Brahmanas, I am in the Brahmana caste. It became a caste system, but that is not so. Krishna has never emphasized about the caste system. It is based on the quality, not by birth. And then Krishna further emphasized, oh, people may think that I have created system, so I will also get implicated. I will also be bound up. I am also like an ordinary human being. No, Krishna is saying no. One who understands that na karmani limpandana karma phale spruha iti mam yo abhijanat karma virna sabadhyate. One who understands that I am transcendental always, even when I appear in this world, material world, also I am transcendental. I'll never get attached to anything because I don't desire anything. No, I don't desire nor I enjoy any fruits. So I don't need anything nor I desire anything. So that way he never get attached to anything. Na karmani limpand, no bondage. So one who understands, one who knows that, then act accordingly, then he will be liberated. That's what Krishna is telling. And then further Krishna is emphasizing that this knowledge is understood by the previous acharyas, previous mahajanas, previous great pandits. Purvataram purvatamai kritam. So we must follow. One who follows this previous sages, previous rajarshis, Janak Maharaj, this Sukadev Goswami, four Kumaras, there are so many, Brahma, Shiva, all these are Mahajanas, Bhishma Pitam, we just finished Bhishma Panchak. We follow because they all were Rajarshis. They are not just simply based on by birth, based on quality, and they have a aim. They have a goal of life. They understood. So by following in their footsteps, they all worked. So by following their footsteps, we can attain the goal. So that is the ultimate. That's why second section is titled Practical Application. So where to go? What is the goal? We must know. So accordingly, we will receive the results of our mentality, our tendency. Now, in this third section, coming to today's first verse, is talking about verse number 16. Kim karma karmeti. 4.16. Yeah. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayo api atra mohita tatte karma pravakshami yad gnatva mokshayase asubhat. Yeah. So Krishna is telling here, even the intelligent men are bewildered. Bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. Yeah. So it's not easy because first of all, everybody has to work. That is the first point. One must know that everybody has to work. Nobody should get away from work. Oh, it is too difficult. Because Krishna is mentioning here, karma is stressing again and again. Third chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter. Because Lord Arjuna is what he is saying is Kshatriya, coming from Kshatriya family and then renouncing the action. He is thinking, why should I fight against my own family? Let me renounce. Let me go to forest. Even though it is difficult choice he has to make. So that's why here Krishna is stressing. First, one must work. That work must be guided. So it must be according to the four varna and four ashrama. As discussing Brahmana karma, then Kshatriya karma, then Vaishya karma, Sudra karma, then Grahastha karma, Brahmacharya karma, Vanaprastha and Sudra karma. So everyone has their own duties, just like Brahmana. What is his duty? Intelligent class duty. There are these four varna, four ashrama. Prabhupada explains, gives example. There are four Brahmana to Sudra, four. There is intelligent, lazy intelligent, busy intelligent, lazy fool, and busy fool. These are the four divisions translated into English in a different way. For Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lowest is Sudra. Lower than that also is there Chandalas, dog eaters and all. They are considered even lower than the even the fourth category also. So Brahmana is called lazy intelligent because he is like a high court judge. He doesn't need to work much, but he gets highly paid because he used his intelligence. He knows exactly how to be smart. He's very intelligent, so he chose a profession where he doesn't need to much, or he just need to watch the both parties giving their arguments, giving their what has happened. Then he will make the decisions according to the obviously law, and obviously he studied and he practiced and whatnot. But so that is example lazy intelligence. So Brahmana's quality is Ejanyajan Patan Patan Dana Pratigna. That is, and then his also quality is Satyam Samatitiksho Arjam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. He knows, he understands Brahma Janati iti Brahmana, one who understands the real Brahman, Parabrahman, his own self, soul is Atma, and he also understands super soul, Paramatma, Parabrahman. Then he is called Brahmana. Means he is always self-controlled, Samadama and Satyam is always speaking truth, has cleanliness, and then he is performing yajnas, he is teaching yajnas to others, he is reading Shastra and he is teaching others. Yajan, Yajan, Patan, Patan. That's why you see Dronacharya. Dronacharya is not afraid of death because general people has that tendency, but Dronacharya is showing that. Even though he taught even Drushtadhyumna, what is it, Drupada's son, he knows that he is going to be killed by him only, but still he taught because he is not afraid. Brahmana means he is not fear. Because Abhayam Sattva Somasiddhir. So he is fearless because he is attached to he is serving, he is surrendered to the Supreme Lord. That is the four Varnas, each and every Varna is, Krishna must be in the center. Chaturvarna, Ata Pumbir Vijasreshta Varnashram Vibhakasasya Sanustitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshnam. Lord Hari must be pleased. When you go to work, the manager has to be pleased, obviously. I think we cannot do something without pleasing him. We cannot stay longer. Same way in business also, whoever we are working for. So they look at your quality, guna, and then they will take that person into that business, whatever, depending on your skills, experience, your quality only, not something else. Even though you might be coming from reputed, but they look at your experience. They look at the references. That's why they look at the references. Really, your credible references are there or not. So the same way here also, for one other, they must work. Everybody has to work. They cannot renounce. They cannot run away. That also they look at in the references. How long he stayed in the previous company, whether business or IT also. Both ways they look at. If somebody is leaving every 3 months, 6 months, changing company to company, that means he's not focused, he's not attentive to the details, he's not really qualified to do the job, he's not a team builder, he's not collaborator, so he doesn't have proper quality to do the work. So all these matters. Same way, the spiritual education also, this Chaturvarna Mayas, Krishna must be in the center. Varnashram Sanustitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshnam. So that is so lazy intelligent is he knows exactly. He's very smartly does the work. He does the work. Like Brahmana has to engage in reading Shastra is also work. The yajnas, engage in sacrifices, that is also work. Going to charity, that is also work. So and then he will keep only what is limited, and then remaining he will again donate. So Lord Krishna is showing himself. He is born in Vaishya community. We'll come to that. So same way then busy intelligent. Next is Kshatriya. Kshatriya has to be busy. King, he has to fight. But he isn't. He will employ all his people, ministers and so many different type of people. Janak Maharaj, he was a Rajarshi. He knows exactly. Then he acted perfectly. And that's why he is called one of the Mahajana also. he acted exactly as per Shastra. So that's why the training is required. Yeah, that is the next important aspect. Why intelligent people are not understood? Because intelligent means material intelligence people have. That is the problem. Because they don't have Shastra intelligence. There is no proper training. That's why Prahlad Maharaj is instructing. Kaumaram acharayet pragno dharman bhagavatanaya tadapi adrom artatam api loke. From 5 years old. Nowadays, parent itself they are teaching. Many times, you are still too young. You just got married. You don't need this education. You don't need this. You have a long way to go at 40, but it's too late because this education is it's a gradual progress. If you don't know, because just like somebody like who got a huge accident, as a car accident or a fire accident, then how long he will suffer? Just from one accident, he has to suffer many months and years sometimes, depending on how severe it is. The ripple effects, the reactions of that, to come out of that, it takes long time. Same way, so if the person is living entity is not trained up properly, the living entity from the beginning, as early as possible, then it takes longer time even. More we wait, it takes more longer time because initially brain is sharp. As we get older, it requires even more time, and it will not be we will not be able to basically digest it. We will not be able to implement it. There is no time because how will we transform? As many years has passed and we have spent many lifetimes passed. We are used to this performing this akarma, not akarma, vikarma and karma, engaging in activities which are giving results, where attached results are where attached in unlawful activities. That is also Krishna is speaking next verse. Karmano api bodhavyam. Bodhavyam is using again and again. What is it? Bodhavyam means should be understood. What is karma? What is vikarma? What is akarma? These three things must be understood. Krishna is stressing that again and again because so just like we are in any country, any state, any city, then they look at is a lawful citizen or unlawful citizen. So on what basis, what kind of activity you perform, whether you are paying taxes, whether you are paying whatever due you have to pay mortgage or whatever rents, all these. Otherwise, will be unlawful. So they will look at that's why credit history is there. So all the same way for spiritual education, but nobody is caring because nobody is checking. We think that we can hide from the Supreme Lord. No, actually reactions are very severe. That's why that's why here in these verses it is understood that why somebody is rich, why somebody is poor. That's the underlying aspect we have to understand. Why somebody is rich, why somebody is poor, why somebody is suffering so much because of the past sinful activities. He is suffering. Karanam guna sanghasya sad asad janma yonishu. And it is supervised by the Supreme Lord. Nobody can hide. Nobody can get away from it. Yes, we can get away from this country or state government, whatever. Here, man-made laws, yes, you can get away. Many people evade taxes, all this. But that you can get away here. But from Supreme Lord, it runs so smooth. You cannot get away at any place from anything. Karmana daiva netrena janto deva daiva netrena. Everything is happening under the divine supervision. Because he's there, super soul is there, he's watching what's happening, what are we doing, what are we thinking, everything he knows. But he's reciprocating to the degree we are surrendering accordingly. Because free will is there, you cannot force. Because people may think, oh, somebody is suffering, why God is not looking? That means there is no God. No. It is what you want. Free will is there. You want to put your finger in fire or do sinful activities, then what God will say? All right, because that is your free will. You are wanted. Krishna is giving all this knowledge, and Krishna is arranging so many different ways, trying to. That's why he is coming again and again to actually remove this burden from the earth and enlighten people, performing different pastimes again and again. So many different ways Krishna is helping. But we are not realizing. We are thinking this body help is all in all. That's why Lord Rishabhadev is instructing all this. One who is intelligent, there, yeah, he is clearly mentioning. Nonam pramatta kurute vikarma yad indriya priyataya apnoti. Na sadhu manne asura varya dehina. So, yad atmanoyam, yeah, asannapi kleshadadeha. Asannapi kleshadadeha. One who is intelligent, he knows because of sinful activity, because of the sense enjoyment only, we have received this body. One who is intelligent, he will not do that again, continue. Because he understood already that why I received this material body. Why somebody is rich, why somebody is poor? Because of his pious credits, kamya karma. There are three karmas here as mentioned. Kamya karma means karma. Based on the prescribed duties, you will engage. You will engage in pious credit. That means you will feed poor people, you will open hospitals, you will do some good work. Then that will get pious credit. That means you will go to the heavenly planet, or you will have more balance, you will have more beauty, you will have all these nice things, but all temporary. Even if you go to moon planet 10,000 years, you will enjoy, and then again you fall down from there. So there is nothing is permanent. Even though it says, oh, Amrita, nectar, so is there in the demigod world. That doesn't mean they are going to be immortal from this material. No, they are also, but long time. That means immortal means longer than the human beings in this planet. That's what it is. Because when Hiranyakashipu asked, give me immortality, Lord Brahma said, I myself is not immortal. What I am going to give to you? I cannot give you. But I can try to give you as close as possible. That means you can die from here, you can't be killed by a human, you can't be killed by this, that, so many rules. He said, all right, I am granting all those. But immortality you couldn't give. Lord Narsingadev came and killed Hiranyakashipu. Nobody could stop. Because that's what it is. Kalosmi, time factor. Even for atheist, Lord acts as a time factor. Whether he believes or not believes, then time will take him away. So that's what we have to. Why somebody is rich and somebody is poor? Because of his sinful activities, because of his pious activities. Accordingly, he is enjoying or suffering. Pious credits are impious. That's why. So the training is required from childhood. If no training, then that's why the parent has to make sure. That is also clearly mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Nobody should become father, nobody should become mother, nobody should become guru, nobody should become a leader unless he delivers his dependents. Guru na sasyat, swajana na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, na mochayed samupet mrityum. One who cannot deliver his dependent from that birth, death, old age, and disease, then he shouldn't become a guru, he shouldn't become a mother, he shouldn't become a father, he shouldn't become a leader, he shouldn't become a guardian. So, because he himself doesn't know, he cannot save himself, then what I mean, like, if somebody is drowning, he is trying to save. First, he himself has to, first, that's in the aeroplane, when we get on, they will give training. First, they will say, first you yourself put that, and cover yourself, protect yourself, then you do the other, for others. So that is the first thing. So self-protection. So first we have to know. So then, because if we do, sometimes parent, we don't need. Many people are of this, has this mentality that, okay, I will give kids has to learn this knowledge, culture. But parent, no, that we don't need it. We will enjoy kids, but how much they can accept? If they see parents, how we are acting, how we are learning, what we are doing, they watch, even though whether they tell in front of us or not, but they know, they look at what parents are doing. Accordingly, they will also follow. They will also do. We may instruct, parent may instruct, yes, do this, do that, but parent is going out and smoking and doing all kinds of things. Obviously, kids also follows. So then that's why it is not, it is based on what we do. That's why training means guidance, means following the Shastra. Yes, Shastra vidhim ustrichya vartate kama karna siddhim navapnodala alapate param. One who gives up injunctions of Shastra and do his own things, like company rules are there. That's why in companies, why again and again, financial, pharma is even for most, it is clearly again and again training comes. Despite, as soon as we join there, then itself we've been trained, but again and again we get trained. We have been telling you have to follow good documentation practices, and you cannot do this unlawfully, whether selling stocks or telling about your company drug information to others, or anything unlawfully. Otherwise, you will be $1 million fine and prison and whatnot. All these things again and again. Video presentation as a a Word document. So many different ways, because They want to make sure, because again and again, if they don't give, then people may keep committing, because that mentality is their, attitude is there. Somehow or the other get money. Doesn't matter how. You can get away with it. Some people have done it, then I can also do it. Nobody is watching. My manager is not here, so I cannot be caught. I am smart. People have this tendency. So that's why they again and again train in the companies, so that people, at least after hearing multiple times, so that's why this transcendental knowledge every day must be heard. Then it will really, the proclivities in the heart, really it will purify. Otherwise, there is no way we can curtail this sinful mentality, because it is coming up for many lifetimes. Mind is filled with all these unwanted things. It is very, very difficult to come out. Yes, he is abhavasya tasyaso duratikrama. The tendency what we got, we don't like. We used to lick, put our finger in the mouth. It doesn't go away so easily, because that's what we are used to. Biting the nails, all this unclean habit. But once we are used to, it is very difficult to get away from even small things. Drinking tea, coffee, it's very difficult. Even small things, but it looks so easy, simple, but it is so difficult, because we are attached to it. Mind is telling again, no, 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 you should, this is nothing. This is a very small thing. What is the big deal in drinking this or the biting nails? No, it is not good at all. So that's why clearly Shastra is telling, one must follow. If you want to be lawful citizen in this country, you are following rules, because you are afraid that the government will give you punishment, either police or whatever department. But we are not afraid of God. That's what. Because we don't know where we are going to go. That is the problem. There is no knowledge of where we are. We have to change the body. Whether you like it or not, whether theist or atheist, doesn't matter what you believe. Krishna is telling, Sarva yonishu kantaya sambhavanti murtaya. Tasha mahat brahma. Aham bija pradapita. I am the seed giving path to other. Krishna is not telling nowhere. Chaturvarna Maya Srishtamal. Krishna is telling not for Indians, not for Americans. It is for everybody. Everyone is my seed giving father. I am the father to everybody. So this must be followed. So everybody must know that there is a change of body. You have to, when you give up this body, you have to take up another body. Now the question may be then, yes, you want spiritual body, or you want still in the material world, go on taking different body, animal body or tree body, reptile body, cat body. That is up to us. Choice, free will. Krishna is giving free choice. Even telling after Bhagavad Gita, the whole thing, Krishna is telling Arjuna, choice is yours. You do whatever you like. Yatechas tata kuru. But Arjuna understood. Then he said, Karishye vachanantav. I will do exactly what you describe, what you instruct me to do. I will not do anything away from it. So that's why it is very important. This guidance, this knowledge. It is that's why it is Shastra is mentioning. Sukadeva, Parikshit Maharaj is mentioning. Pravishta karnarandrena swanam bhava saroruham dunoti samalam Krishna sililam yata asarat. Pravishta karna, it must. That's why transcendental knowledge every day. It cannot be missed. It cannot be missed. Otherwise, the focus, the proclivity will not be removed, because we are so much attached to things. That's why even for intelligent man also they cannot decipher. They don't know what is truth, what is not truth. They don't know what is action, what is forbidden action, what is fruitive action. They don't know. There is no difference. They think, yes, I can open a hospital, I can feed poor people. What is the problem? What is the issue? It is good. As long as I am a good person, I'm going to get good result. Yes, you will again and again maybe enjoy for a few years, but that doesn't mean anything. Again, these results are temporary. Feeding poor people, how long you are going to feed? Whole life, this life, the next life, who's going to feed him? You are looking at the skin, you are looking at this body, temporary body. But what happens when he is going to change the body? You are going to be there? You yourself don't know where we are going. So that's why, along with, yes, you can help feed poor people, all of them. But you have to do also with transcendental knowledge. You have to explain about this knowledge. You should give Bhagavad Gita, you should give this knowledge. Then that is actually permanent. That will actually transform that living entity. That will help permanently, not temporarily. So that's why it is very important to know. So you must get the guidance. That's why intelligent person also very difficult. For him also very difficult, because most of them are material intelligent. They are not transcendental intelligence is not there. So that is what important point Krishna is making here. Karmano bodhavyam akarmana. So bodhavyam bodhavyam cha vikarmana. Akarmana cha bodhavyam gahana karmano gati. Very difficult to understand. So that's why we must know what is the ultimate goal of life. So when the goal is there, then we know. Means when we change the body, where we are going to, we should be afraid of simple activity. We should be afraid of what we are going to get. But we are looking temporarily, whether I am going to get, we are afraid of manager, we are afraid of this person, that person in this material world, because we know that they are in charge for certain things. We may be deprived of certain things here in this material world because we are working under them or whatever. So, but we are not understanding that we are working under the Supreme Lord. The whole this whole Brahmanda is coming from Supreme Lord. So we must be afraid and we must develop love. We must follow the instructions of the Supreme Lord. How will we follow? When we enter, this knowledge enters. Pravishta karnarandrena swanam bhava saroram. When it enters through ear hole, it has to enter, it has to go to the heart. It has to touch the heart. When it will touch the heart, when you hear and then you apply it slowly, gradually, then there is a transformation. Then it will touch the heart. Until you get realization, then it will not transform your heart. Because after hearing, then you will slowly putting into practice slowly. Then when you yourself see it, that it is working, you are seeing some transformation, you are seeing some result, then you will have, it will transform your heart. Until that, that's why Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Avagamam, that means Susukam Kartum Abhyam. Pratyaksha Avagamam, we have to see personally. Then realization will be there. If you ourselves, if we don't put in practice, if we don't even hear, nothing to put practice. If we don't put in practice, then where will be the result? Then there is no realization. Then it's theory only. So that's why more we hear. That's why Lord Kapila is instructing to Mother Devati. Prasangam ajaram pasam. So this great attachment, this most of the living entities are intelligent people are also attached to the body, attached to the money, or attached to something or the other, extended family or his own body, his wealth, his beauty, something or the other is attached. Prasangam ajaram, great attachment, not ordinary attachment. Prasangam ajaram pasam, pasam like a rope, and three ropes, like mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, three ropes. Very, it becomes thick rope. So it is very strong attachment, very strong knot. Prasangam ajaram pasam. Prasangam ajaram pasam. I forgot. Yeah, Atmana Kavayo Vidu. There are the intelligent person, Atmana Kavayo Vidu. But one who is intelligent, Saeva Sadhu Susukruto, Moksha Dwaram Pavaratam. Yeah. Saeva, we will take the association of devotees. Saeva Sadhu Susukruto, Moksha Dwaram. For him, the liberation is, door of liberation is open. One who is intelligently taking the shelter of the saintly persons and hearing Krishna Katha, gradually, that then you will understand what is forbidden action, what is action. Action means according to the religious principles. So that is just a pious credit. That is a good. It will just give enjoyment. It will give higher birth. It will give higher bank balance. All these things will happen. But these are all temporary. But one who performs akarma, then there is no attachment to the results. Then he will not take up this birth in this material world. He will take in spiritual world. So that is the biggest difference. Vikarma means against scriptural injunction completely. That means sinful activities. Karma means ordinary credits, pious credits, good karma, feeding poor, all this coming at pious credits. But vikarma means completely against, unlawful citizen. So in this world, unlawful citizen of the Supreme Lord also. Acting completely against. That's why it's very difficult to understand this dharma. What is dharma of a living entity? So Brahmana dharma, Kshatriya dharma, Vaishya dharma, we must know. So that's why Brahmana is called lazy intelligent. He knows smart. That's why he doesn't, Brahmana means he doesn't work under anybody. He guides others. And that's why you see Pandavas are always guided by Dhaumya, Vyasdev and so many others. That means exactly they will follow. They will not move an inch and do without their instruction, guidance. But Duryodhana, they are also guided, but they never took. Vyasdev instructed. Krishna himself, after all of them instructing, Krishna himself had to come and instruct. Still they didn't follow. And Duryodhana tried to bind Krishna also. See that sages have so much power, Brahmanas have so much power. We see that King Vena and what is his name? King Prudu Maharaj. King Vena, King Anga was a great king, Rajarshi. Then he saw his son was doing all kinds of simple activities because his wife was not pious. So then, even when he was engaged, Brahmanas were doing sacrifices. He didn't have son. They are engaged in sacrifice. Then even demigods are not taking any, accepting even the offerings, oblations. Then they said, then they meditated and then they told, problem is not in this life, past life, she was coming from the sinful background, sinful activity. That's why they are not accepting because of that. Now, so then they suggested one sacrifice. Then by that you will get. Then in that also because of the sinful mentality of his wife, then one son was born, Vena. He was so sinful, uncultured, irreligious. Then he started doing all kinds of sinful activities. Then he was so disgusted, King Anga, then he left. He didn't even tell anybody. He left the kingdom and he went all of a sudden. Then all the saintly persons, then they saw nobody, no king. Then it's thieves and rogues are everywhere running around, making mess. Then they put Vena as a king because the son of a king, obviously. But then he completely stopped even religious principle. Nobody can do any religious principle. He thought, I am the supreme lord. King means I am the supreme lord. Everybody should offer respect to me. Everybody should follow my instruction. I am the supreme lord. I am the supreme. In that way he acted. Then they came and told these saintly persons, Brahmanas told them that you must follow. So we are sincerely requesting you, instructing you that you follow this injunction of the Shastra. If you don't, then you yourself will be in great danger. You have to serve the Supreme Lord. As a Kshatriya, as a Rajarshi, you are supposed to do these things, follow Dharma. Then he said, he rejected them. He defied them. He defied their authority. Immediately, right there, in few minutes after that happened, then immediately they themselves discussed. They uttered some mantra. This is not in Kali Yuga, obviously. That power is not there in the previous Yuga. They uttered some mantras. Immediately, the Vena was dead. They didn't do anything physically. Not even an instrument, not even a weapon, nothing. Just mantra. They were killed. He was killed. Then for a few days nobody was there. Then what is going to happen? Then again they are then they using mantra. Then they churned the body of Vena. But where did they churn? They churned king's body from Vena from legs. Then obviously from legs who will be born? Sudra will be born. Legs is the Sudra. So then then some Nishada was born, Sudra. Then he is complete. Then they sent him to the forest. And then they again discussed. Then they realized they should churn from the body of hands. Then they churned from the body of hands of Vena by using the right mantra. Then this time King Prutu was born. Partial incarnation, Sektavesh avatar of the Supreme Lord. Partial incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So that's why these saintly persons has the power. They can change, they can transform. We can see that again and again. So many examples. So it can doesn't matter. Even though previously committed sinful activity, but still by the association of saintly persons, by their guidance, by following strictly their guidance, one who defies their authority, finished. Their whole, even the pious credits also will be depleted by defying the authority of the saintly person, especially depending on how much advanced they are. If they are pure devotees, that's it. Then it will be severe offense. That is. So that's why we see one who is severely offending, like Durvas Muni went on to Amrish Maharaj. Then he had to face Sudarshan Chakra was running behind him like anything. Then he has no other shelter but to fall down at the feet of Amrish Maharaj. So the Lord himself will not allow, he will save or protect anybody who is defying his own pure devotee. Lord will take his offense against him, but he will never agree, never always will, that he will get the punishment, severe punishment, especially those who are defying the supreme, the pure devotee's authority, pure devotee, offending pure devotee, defying the authority. King Vena had to suffer, that's why. So that's why it's very important. So one must follow. That's why in this Kapila is instructing. Prasangam Ajaram Pasam. Only way one can come out from this great attachment is by following the injunctions of Shastra. How will we know? Only by following Mahajanas. That's why Bhishma Pitama did Bhishma Panchaka. This was explained. Lord Bhishma Pitama is asking Lord Krishna, how did you, what, can you tell me the secret? Why you are so much, we are also serving, but Pandavas, you are with them, you are dining with them, sleeping with them. How they are able to become like that, so much close associates? So then Lord Krishna told, yes, in their past life they did 5 days in the Kartik month, the last 5 days they did the great Ashram without knowing. Unknowingly they did 5 days. So then because of that, they are eating this gobar one day, milk one day, yogurt one day, cow urine. That way they have somehow survived. So then the next life they became Pandavas. One of the past time from Padma Puran, Skanda Puran, different places this is mentioned about Bhishma Pitama. This past time, the one of the king, they all these five Brahmanas, they were born in the next life as Pandavas. Draupadi was Kadambari, queen of a king. She was dancing. All of these five Brahmanas were great singers to this musical knowledge. So then they were attracted by that Kadambari. Then they fasted. They were simply engaged in hearing that music and dancing. Then in the next life, Kadambari became Draupadi, and then five Pandavas became obviously Draupadi. Kadambari had to take multiple lifetimes. She prayed to Lord Shiva, and then 5 times give my husband. 5 times, then that's how she got 5 husbands, the Pandavas. So that's the whole history. Then because Lord Krishna explained to Bhishma, then Bhishma Dev also did these 5 days of this fasting to attain devotion, to become close to Lord Krishna, to attain Krishna Prema. So by following the footsteps of Pandavas, Bhishma Pitama also did this. That's why by following Bhishma, we can also, that's why Bhishma Pitama, Bhishma Pancha. For last 5 days, Bhishma did austerity even more. He is always, because Ajanma Brahmachari is always Naistika Brahmachari. He never married. Just giving a vow to his father, because his father wants to marry a girl. Then that girl's father said, no, your son, your grandsons will take up this position. I don't want to give my daughter to your father. Said, then after knowing that story, then he went and told, no, I will never marry, so you have no problem. In that way, so that's how Bhishma Pitama, he got a boon, Ichcha Mrityu, from his father, because by getting married to that girl, by giving up his own marriage. So that's why Bhishma Pitama, from the beginning, he was like that. He was very austere, he was always truthful, he was always determined, he is a valiant fighter. So, that's how this Bhishma Panchak is there, because following the footsteps of Pandavas, Mahajanas. Anyway, so these verses describing the 4.16, everybody has to work, training is required, guidance and training, and we must know that what is the ultimate goal of life. So we have to change the body. We want to goal to achieve spiritual body or material body. That we have to decide. Then we understood why somebody is rich, somebody is poor, and we must become a lawful citizen, not unlawful citizen. We should be afraid of these what you call them there? Yeah, vikarma means sinful activities, because God is watching. So we will get a different kind of birth, not even human birth, when you engage in sinful activities. Jaganna gunavritti adho gachanti tamasa, lower species of life and lower planets. So that's why we should be careful. So that's what is been explained here. It is very important. So the 4 kinds of sinful activities also explained. Striya Sunapana Juta Yatra Papas Chaturvida. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, chapter verse number 38. So this drinking, so meat eating, so intoxication, illicit life, so all these 4 kinds of activities it is prohibited, but that is it is very common in Kali Yuga, because there is no culture. nobody is following this varnashrama system, then there is no quality. Then so that's where then the leaders themselves are like that. Then obviously living entities are also following under the leaders. So that's what is happening. But they don't know what they are going to become in the next life. So that's why whether you like it or not, they will get that different kinds of bodies. Many times it's not even human body. So that is even more dangerous. That's why we should know. So, and further it is explained, it is very difficult to understand. One who sees inaction and action and action and action is intelligent among men. And he is the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activity. Yeah, it is very difficult. Like action in action in action action. That means even though somebody is performing action, but there is no action at all. It's like inaction. Seeing inaction in action. Just like one who is performing Krishna conscious activities, one who is performing as per Shastra, akarma. Then even though he is performing like Arjuna is following Krishna's instruction fighting, because Krishna never said give up your fight and go back to your forest. No, Krishna told rather you should fight. Mam tasma sarveshu kalesh mam anusmarayiddhas mayarpita manobuddhir mamaya vasu. Fight and also work. Fight and also remember me. Do it on behalf of me. Then that will become nishkama karma. Otherwise, it will become kama karma. Because for your own sense enjoyment, you want to fight. Like you want to, as a police, as per the authority, you should follow. Yes, you should protect and you should give ticket, whatever. As per the rules, you should do. But on your own behalf, you neglect your authority, and then even when you are civil, you are not in the dress of the government. You are in civil dress, and then you still kill or you still do something because you are a police, so you have the power. Still, you will be put in prison or you will be punished for that because you don't have the authority. So you are not doing based on the authority or shastra or the rules of the government. Same way here also, when the living entity, one who doesn't follow the injunctions of the shastra, so he has to see action in action. That's how it is very difficult to understand what is action in action means. Even though somebody is as a Kshatriya, Arjuna is performing action, but there is no action in it actually. Because he is not attached to result, nishkama karma. But one who is doing other way, it is called kamya karma. That means he is attached to results. Arjuna wants to have that kamya karma before Krishna instructed. He wants to renounce. That means kamya karma. You have your own speculation. You have your own desire that I don't want to fight because it is my own family. So I don't know. What happens to the rest of the people who are suffering? They are not your praja. So that's why that is Krishna told. That is sense enjoyment. Based on your own idea, you are thinking. But what a Shastra is telling, as Kshatriya, you are supposed to fight. You have to protect. Then you should take up that duty, but without attachment. Don't look at the results. You do it for me. Then I will take care of everything else. No simple reaction for you. So that's why even though he is performing action, as a Kshatriya is fighting, huge battlefield, huge fight for 18 days, but no action. That's why seeing action in action, just like somebody is flying, Prabhupada gives example, flying a kite. Sometimes up and sometimes down, reeling up, reeling down. But one who sees the person, then he is only seeing that reel, moving the reel. But actually, there is a difference. Sometimes it's going up, sometimes it's going down. Even though somebody is performing action, like Kshatriya, like Arjuna is performing also Kshatriya, Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, all of them are also doing Kshatriya role. But one is action, one is inaction. One is akarma, one is vikarma. Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra did vikarma because against the injunctions, they are doing for sense enjoyment. They are attached to the result. They want to gain position. Pandavas are they are ready to give up. They want to go to forest. So, but they are doing it for Krishna's pleasure because they want to set the dharma in the kingdom. They want to protect it when Krishna wanted dharma to be protected. So that is dharmantu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. So dharma means what is the injunction, what is given by Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. As per the Shastra, Shastra is coming down. That is explained in third chapter. We discussed already previously. So it is coming from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. All this Vedic knowledge. So That's why we have to understand. That's what here Krishna is telling. Action in action, in action in action means that's what it is. Complicated words are used, but very simple terms. As we explained Arjuna's case, and Arjuna compared to Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana's gang, completely different. One is performing Nishkama karma or Akarma. Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra are performing Vikarma. You can see clearly. All these demons in Krishna Lila, so many. So Kamsa has sent so many demons. All they are performing Vikarma because they are doing for their own enjoyment. Karma is sending, what is it? Yeah. Kamsa is sending for his own sense of enjoyment. But the one who is doing for Krishna's pleasure, for Shastra, as per Shastra injunctions he is following, that means he is not attached to results, he is just simply doing as a duty, then he is performing a karma. Even though he is doing also duty, but he is not attached to results, so that is called a karma. It is inaction in inaction. But all others are doing action, inaction in action. Even though they might not be doing anything, sitting at home, like these Jnanis, Mayavadis. There is another example. Sarvam Bhattacharya had a Mayavadi, expert in Mayavadi, scholar. He was managing Jagannath Puri temple. He was in charge for Jagannath Puri temple. But he was a Mayavadi. Great scholar, great Pandit. Then he argued with 7 days with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was teaching, he was instructing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking for so many different angles for each and every verse. But ultimately coming down to the same impersonal, illusory, the living entity. The Lord also, when he comes down, he also has this material body, illusory potency. But Brahman means, or they will come to the highest, is the Brahman effulgence is everything. And when somebody takes sannyas, then he become Narayan. There's all this different understandings are there, but that's not the pure understanding. The Supreme Lord has 3 different levels: impersonal aspect, then super soul, second aspect, Paramatma feature, and the final aspect is the personal form of the Lord. That is the ultimate, that is the topmost. That must be understood. That's why then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted a verse. You don't know what you have actually completely covered up the real knowledge. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted from Padma Purana Uttarakhand how Shankaracharya appeared. This Lord Shiva himself is telling this verse. The Padma Purana Uttarakhand 25.7. Mayavadam asat shastram prachannam bauddham uchyate mayaiva vihitam devi kalau brahmana murtina. I will appear as son of a Brahmana Shankaracharya, and I will propagate this false theory, this Mayavad theory. So, like Buddhism. Buddhism was voidism. After this life, there is nothing, void, nothing is there. So, after this, giving up this body, nothing. But you meditate on me. I am the God, Buddha. You worship me. No Veda, nothing. That's all. Because at that time, they were killing left and right. So, that's why Lord Buddha came. Then after that, Vedas has to be established. That's why Shankaracharya has to come. So everything is, there's a purpose. Gradually, there is systematically propagated one level after another. Because people are not at that higher level to understand. So that's why Shankaracharya. But people take that also, that is the highest thing. So they follow. But Shankaracharya finally gave the ultimate Narayana Paravyakta. Lord Narayana is everything. This is the topmost. So he's not of this material world. That's why before creation, the Shastra is mentioning in Narayana Upanishad that, what is that? I forget. Narayana Indro Jayate, Narayana Brahma Jayate, Narayana Rudra Jayate, Narayana Dvadasaditya Jayate. So everything came from Narayan. Before creation, none of them were there. So only at the time of this material creation, they are all there. But before that, none of them were there. Only Lord Narayana was there. Everything is coming from, all these are explained in Upanishads. So that's how we have to know. All these demigods they don't have independence. They are also jivas, but they are higher qualification. That's how they became. They are just like a higher post in company. Sometimes you have directors, senior VPs. So like that, they are also being given in charge based on their qualifications. These demigods are higher, except Lord Shiva. So Lord Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, all of them are Jiva Tattva, like us. But Lord Shiva is not Ishvara, not Jiva, is in between. Is almost close to Ishvara, close to Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu takes up that position as Lord Shiva. So for the creation purpose, destruction, annihilation, annihilation and material creation. Part of material creation, milk touched by transforms into yogurt. So Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu is not directly in touch with creation. So through Lord Shiva, he will perform in that creation also. So and then annihilation, Lord Shiva is directly in charge as the mode of ignorance is in charge of. But that's why he is not Jiva, Jiva Tattva. Sadasiva is there in Vaikuntha Loka. In material world, he is there as a Shiva and Rudras, 11 Rudras. They in charge for annihilation. But Sadasiva in Vaikuntha Loka is there, as good as almost close to Lord Vishnu. So that is a different position. But rest of all of them are demigods, Brahma and all, they are Jiva Tattvas. So that position we have to understand. So none of them are independent. Lord Shiva also doesn't act independently. Lord Shiva is always meditating on Lord Vasudeva. His Ishtadev is Lord Balram, Lord Sankarshan. So that is always is meditating. That is his business. Anyway, so in these verses clearly it is being indicated how to be always guided by the Shastra. Every day one must learn, because one must read, one must hear. That should be regular practice. So every day. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhradavrata. One must chant the holy name of the Lord every day. As we are eating, as we are sleeping, so same way, as we are working, as we are doing business, whatever. So we must also do this. This is the actual food for the soul. So we are giving food for the body. But we are giving the food for the gross body, subtle body, but we are not taking care of the spiritual body, the soul. We are forgetting the training, we are forgetting the actual feeding the soul. So that's why every day it is required. So we cannot miss even a day. That means then we cannot come out of these proclivities, come out of this attitude, mentalities, what we have. Even Pandavas themselves, Lord Krishna is telling this, Yudhishthira Maharaj, tell this lie, Aswadhama Kunjara Hataha. He was not ready to tell lie. That is Karma Kanda Vichar. That means if Krishna is telling, even if it is a false also, we should be ready to tell, because that is Dharma. Whatever Krishna says, that is Dharma. Materially, seemingly, it may be false, but still it is Dharma. So then, because for that, he has to see the hell for a few minutes or few seconds, because he didn't follow the instruction of Lord Krishna. He hesitated. That is Karma Kanda Vichar. So that's why it is not easy. It is very intricate. So only when you follow and read and hear regularly, then we'll be able to understand exactly what is karma, what is vikarma, what is akarma. So then it will burn up. That's why in this verse we'll stop here. 21 already. But the last verse, as we discussed, 19th verse. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita. Jnanagni dagda karmanam tam ahu panditam buddha. One who is intelligent. So when he performs this one, after knowing this knowledge, transcendental knowledge, that's why Krishna is speaking this. Because in third chapter, Arjuna is asking this. Why somebody is engaged in sinful activity? Because that's why knowledge, transcendental knowledge is required. Because he doesn't have the proper transcendental knowledge, he has material knowledge, he is material intelligent, but he is not spiritual intelligent. So that he is busy fool or lazy fool, like more of a Sudra or Kshatriya, Sudra or Vaisya. Vaisya is busy fool, no, lazy fool. Sudra is busy fool, is always busy compared with monkey. Monkey is also busy, but everywhere chaos, creating chaos, havoc, creating havoc. So we should clearly understand, and then we have to act smartly. So that's what we have to become, not become busy fool. So that's why here mentioned, Isya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita. Whatever action we may do, we must have, everything must be done for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord and Spiritual Master. Whether it is Bheshma Panchak or this festival, that festival, everything, gradually, it takes time. So, Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita. The desire of sense enjoyment, desire of sense, desire to the attached results, that itself is not there. Devoid of desire. Kama sankalpa. Sankalpa, that's why there is a vrata sankalpa. When you do vrata, Satyanam vrata, or Srinivas Kalyanam, whatever, different sacrifices, Vishnu Panchaka, there is a sankalpa. Sankalpa means to increase our faith, determination, that we are requesting, seeking the power, seeking the mercy of the Supreme Lord, strength, seeking, give me the strength. I want to perform this vrata, this puja, this thing. Please give me strength so that I can do it, not on my own, by power of Guru, by power of the Supreme Lord, by your mercy. I can do. That is what Sankalpa means. That's why we do Sankalpa. Under the guidance of Pujari, Brahmana in temples, or the guidance of spiritual master. Yeah. Amkara Ishte, that's why we chant that Sankalpa mantra so with this right hand and putting this left hand like this, and then we chant that Sankalpa mantra. So that's why here Kama Sankalpa Vajita is fully, he has fully determined, not devoid of desire of sense enjoyment. Then then what will happen? Fire, it will burn up everything, all the sinful activity, everything, all of whatever proclivities, everything is there, because fire, that's what it will do. Everything burn to ashes. Nothing will be remaining. So that's how this transcendental knowledge acts like a fire. So that's how Krishna is explaining in Brahma Samhita also. What is it? What is it? Yastu Indra Gopam Ahosva Karma Bandhanu Rupam Palabhajan Matanoti Palabhajan Karmani Nirdahat Kinchu the Bhakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. Starting with Indra Gopa all the way to Indra, they all can become purified. Yastu Indra Gopam Ahosva Karma Bandhanu Rupam Palabhajan Matanoti. They are attached to so many sinful activities, but as soon as they engaged in Lord Govinda's service, then automatically their whole sinful activities, it might be huge sum of sinful activity, but everything will become destroyed. Bandhan rupam palabhajana matanavat. So Govinda Madhushantam. Karmani nirdahati. Dahati means burn up, and nirdahati means not a single trace will be there. Because sometimes fire may burn up, but after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, again things may start sprouting up. But karma nirdahati, that's why. It means nothing, not a even proclivity. It will not come again. Karmani nirdahati kinchuta bhakti bhaja. By bhakti only. By worship of the Lord in devotion. Not by karma, not by jnana. Like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya case, he was having that Jnana platform, is operating on that Jnana platform. That means renouncing things. Renunciation, renouncing things. But he's not under Brahman effulgence, merging into Brahman effulgence, becoming Narayana, thinking that I will become, everybody can become God. They are minute God, but not the supreme God. So that's why this, even where it is explained, King Prudu Maharaj was a Shaktyavesa avatar. Indra is the lusty feature of the Lord, incarnation. Then what is the so same way, this is the kingly feature of the Lord, the King Prutu. So different avatars are there, but they are very portions, minute portion. Also, yeah, King Prutu and even I forget. I think in this place or some other place. I think in other place. Sometimes Lord Vishnu and Lord Vishnu's consort, both are born also. Then they both get married also. I forget, not this, I think this pastime, some other pastime. Anyway, so here, the one must be devoid of sense gratification. Kama sankalpa vajita, jnanagni dagda karmanam tam ahu panditam buddha. One who is intelligent, they will act accordingly, slowly, gradually, the desires. All other desires will go away, because as it is a gradual progress. So then automatically everything will become nullified. No simple activity will be there, no proclivity will be there. So different levels. So we have to come from Adav Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Tata Bhajana Kriya, Tata Anardana. So the coming to surrendering to spiritual master itself is a huge big step. Initially we have faith, then we start chanting, then we associate with devotees, Tata Shraddha, the Adav Shraddha, then Tata Sadhu Sangha associating with Tata Bhajana Kriya, that means surrendering to spiritual master, third step. That itself is a huge step. Not everybody can surrender to spiritual, because that itself requires some transcendental credits. Bhakti, Unmukha, Sukruti must be there. Then only, because unless you first layer of sinful activity is gone, Esham Antakatam Papam Janana Punya Karmana. Unless first layer of sinful activity is gone, then they cannot come to that level. They cannot surrender to spiritual master. It just cannot happen. So that's why. That's why it requires some work on our part, some due diligence, some serious inquiry in our hearts. Serious inquiry. What is our goal? Where are we going to go? So then that requires then bona fide spiritual master guidance. Narada Muni became Narada Muni because he had a spiritual master. Krishna himself had taken Sandeepan Muni, spiritual master. Lord Ramachandra has taken. So Guru is required. So otherwise we cannot become fearless. Clearly Krishna is explaining. Bhakti pareshanubhava virakti, no, bhakti, what is it? Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatasya ishadapetasya viparyayo asmruti. Guru Devatatma. One must surrender to a spiritual master. Make him that he is as good as the Supreme Lord. Guru Devata. He must worship and follow the instruction. Then only he can become fearless. Otherwise, there is no way he can become fearless. He will be always having that fear. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatasya. It is arising from the false absorption. Viparyayo. Away from the Supreme Lord. Aspruti. Forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord on the bodily identification. So, how to come out of that? Only way is Guru Devatatma. One must worship spiritual master, surrender and worship spiritual master as good as the Supreme Lord. Then offer everything to him. By his mercy, then everything will be finished. Everything. Everything will be burned to ashes. So that it requires some work, it requires some surrender, so it requires some also intelligence. So that's what these verses are telling. So otherwise it is very difficult. Even the intelligent person cannot understand what is action, what is inaction, what is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma means. But it's not so easy to understand. It's not black and white. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai.